Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing something a little different for this deep dive. We're going to be checking out a product. It's called Sigma Seduction. Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a 30-minute hypnotherapy audio track, and it claims, get this, it claims to delete your fear of rejection
hmm
and make you irresistible to women. Uh, I know it sounds a little wild, right?
It definitely makes some bold claims. In the marketing materials I've seen, it suggests that you can attract any woman in just 3 days, turn you into this like Sigma male figure, even see results in your professional life. So very attention grabbing, but maybe a little outlandish.
Yeah, definitely attention grabbing.
Yeah.
So, okay, Sigma male, what is that all about?
So the material kind of paints a picture of a man who embodies this like quiet confidence, doesn't need to play the game to attract women. He's self-assured, independent, operates outside of traditional social hierarchies.
Yeah, I can see the appeal of that. Who wouldn't want to exude that type of confidence, especially when it comes to dating?
Right, taps into this idea of becoming the strong, silent type that women just gravitate towards. Now, whether that's a realistic or healthy way to view relationships, that's a whole other discussion. But it's clear that the archetype holds some allure for a lot of men.
For sure. So let's talk about the science a little bit. Reprogramming the brain. They talk about this Dr. Bessel van der Kolk and his work on trauma.
hmm
How does that all connect to dating?
So, Dr. Van Occult is a leading expert in how trauma impacts the brain. And his research shows that past experiences, especially negative ones, can get deeply ingrained in our neural pathways. And that shapes our thoughts, our emotions, and our behavior in ways we might not even realize.
So they're saying that past rejections can actually make us less attractive in the future.
That seems to be the implication. Yeah, it's like, think about it this way. If you've experienced rejection in the past, your brain might start to like anticipate it, fear it happening again. And that can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, behaviors that actually make you less confident and less appealing to potential partners.
Yeah, and that's kind of unsettling. But can a 30-minute audio track really undo all that?
Yeah, that's where things get a bit more speculative. While hypnotherapy can be a powerful tool for certain issues, the idea that a single short session can rewire those deep-seated patterns, I think that's a pretty bold claim. It's important to approach those claims with a bit of skepticism.
So not exactly a magic bullet, but at least it's bringing up these interesting concepts about how our past experiences can impact our present behavior.
Definitely.
So let's talk about Alan Lee. This is the guy who supposedly created this program. He claims to have gone from being a complete chump, as he says, to attracting women effortlessly after using Sigma Seduction. So what is his story all about?
Well, his story is a classic transformation narrative, the kind you often see in marketing, to create a sense of hope and possibility. So he paints a picture of himself as this average guy struggling in his dating life, feeling rejected, insecure. But then, through this program, he discovers the secrets to becoming a Sigma male and unlocks this newfound confidence that transforms his life.
So it's like a big before and after.
Yeah.
Is that a common tactic?
It's very common, especially in the self-help world and dating advice. It's designed to tap into our desire for change, make us believe we can achieve similar results if we just follow the program. Whether those results are realistic or sustainable is another question, of course.
Yeah, because real life is not as simple as a before and after photo, but it's a compelling story. They even go so far as to include these really vivid anecdotes from his life, like talking about a woman who supposedly shoved her DDs in his face after he started using the program.
Yeah, those details are very strategically placed. They're designed to evoke a strong emotional response, playing to our desires and fantasies, creating this image of effortless success with women that many men find alluring.
For sure. So let's not get distracted by the anecdotes. What are some of the core concepts and techniques that this program actually teaches?
So one of the key ideas they emphasize is developing this inner confidence and self-reliance. They argue that true attraction comes from a place of strength and authenticity, not from trying to please or chase after women.
So it's not about using manipulative pickup artist tactics. It's about becoming a more confident and attractive version of yourself.
That's the message they're trying to convey, yes. And while the methods might be unconventional, the underlying idea of building genuine self-esteem is something that most people would agree is important for healthy relationships.
Yeah, I can see that. So what about this claim? That women can smell rejection on a man.
That's one of the more controversial claims in the material. They argue that women are subconsciously drawn to men who exude confidence and success, and conversely repelled by those who give off vibes of insecurity or desperation.
So like a subconscious energy we're giving off.
That's the idea. Whether it's literally a smell is debatable. But the concept of nonverbal communication and how our energy impacts others, that's something that's been studied quite a bit.
Yeah, makes you wonder how much we're communicating without realizing it.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about the Sigma male,
Yeah.
reprogramming the brain, Alan Lee and his story.
hmm
What else is in this program? What are some of the other techniques they teach?
So one of the core techniques is what they call inner game work. It's about developing a strong sense of self-worth and confidence that isn't dependent on external validation, especially from women.
So instead of seeking approval from others, you're building it from within. That sounds like a pretty solid foundation for any relationship.
Exactly. They argue that when you genuinely value yourself, you naturally project this aura of confidence that's attractive to others. You're not putting on an act or trying to be someone you're not, which can often come across as inauthentic or even desperate.
Yeah, for sure. But how do they actually teach you to build that inner confidence? It's one thing to say, be more confident, but it's another thing to actually do it.
Right. So they use a combination of visualization techniques, affirmations, and even neurolinguistic programming NLP exercises.
Okay.
Now, some people might find those approaches a little new-woo, but there's actually a growing body of research that suggests these techniques can be effective in shifting negative thought patterns and building self-belief.
So it's not just about positive thinking.
Yeah.
They're actually giving you tools and techniques to rewire your brain.
Exactly, and they emphasize the importance of consistency and repetition. Just like building any skill, it takes time and effort to develop genuine self-confidence.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. But I guess anything worthwhile usually is.
Yeah.
So inner game work is one of the core pillars. What else?
Another key element is understanding female psychology and attraction triggers. So they delve into what women are subconsciously looking for in a man and how to present yourself in a way that aligns with those desires.
Okay, this is where it gets a little controversial. Some people might say that's manipulative or inauthentic.
Yeah, that's a valid concern, and it's something that the program addresses directly. The goal isn't to trick or manipulate women, but rather to understand what genuinely attracts them and present yourself in a way that's both authentic and appealing.
So it's more about self-awareness and
Mm.
understanding how your actions and behaviors might be perceived by others.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of your body language, your communication style, the overall impression you're creating. And they argue that by becoming more aware of these things, you can enhance your attractiveness without resorting to cheesy pickup lines or manipulative tactics.
Right, okay, I see what you mean. It seems like this program is a lot about shifting your mindset and developing a deeper understanding of yourself and how you interact with the world.
You're absolutely right. That's what sets it apart from some of the more superficial dating advice out there. It's not just about learning tricks or routines. It's about cultivating a genuine sense of self-worth and learning to express yourself in a way that's both authentic and attractive.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. It's a holistic approach.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. A lot of guys are probably drawn to this because they want to know how to approach women. Does the program actually get into that?
It does, but not in the way you might expect. They don't give you any canned pickup lines or step-by-step routines. Instead, they focus on building the inner confidence and social skills that'll make you more comfortable and successful in social situations.
So creating an environment where approaching women feels more natural.
Exactly. They argue that when you're genuinely confident and comfortable in your own skin, approaching women becomes less about fear of rejection and more about just expressing your interest in a genuine and respectful way.
Right, because no one wants to feel like they're being hit on with a rehearsed script.
For sure, it's much more appealing to connect with someone who's being genuine and authentic.
So it's all about being authentic.
Absolutely. And that's what Sigma Seduction seems to be all about, helping men develop the inner confidence and social skills to connect with women in a way that feels natural and authentic.
Okay, cool. So we've got inner game work, understanding female psychology, building social skills. Anything else stand out?
One more thing that I found interesting was their emphasis on living a purpose-driven life. They argue that having a strong sense of purpose and direction is really attractive to women because it demonstrates ambition, passion, and a clear vision for the future.
So it's not just about working on yourself to attract women, but about becoming a more well-rounded and fulfilled individual.
Exactly. They believe that true confidence, attractiveness stem from living a life that's aligned with your values and passions. When you're pursuing your goals and living with purpose, you naturally radiate a magnetic energy that draws people to you.
That's powerful. It makes sense. Not pretending to be someone you're not, but becoming the best version of yourself.
Precisely. And they argue that this type of genuine self-improvement is ultimately far more sustainable and fulfilling than trying to rely on quick fixes or manipulative tactics.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about the inner game work, understanding female psychology, building social skills, and living a purpose-driven life. It sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is, and while some of the language in marketing might be a bit over the top, the underlying principles are sound. It's about building genuine self-confidence, developing social intelligence, and living a life that's aligned with your values and passions.
So at its core, it's about becoming a more attractive and well-rounded individual.
That's a great way to sum it up. Now, it's important to remember that this is just one perspective, one program, one approach. There are countless other paths to self-improvement and building healthy relationships.
Right. It's all about finding what works for you. But even if you don't buy into every single claim or technique, there's still some valuable information and food for thought here.
I agree. It encourages us to think about how our past experiences might be holding us back, how our energy and mindset impacts our interactions with others, and the importance of living a life that's aligned with our authentic selves.
Yeah, those are pretty universal principles that can apply to all areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be real. This program is marketed towards men who want to improve their dating lives. So how much does it actually deliver on that promise?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And unfortunately, there's no easy answer. The program claims to offer a unique approach to attracting women, but ultimately it's up to each individual to decide if it resonates with them and if they're willing to put in the work to see results.
Right, because no program, no matter how well designed,
Mm-hmm.
can guarantee success.
Absolutely. And it's important to approach any dating advice, including this program, with a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't expect overnight transformations or magical solutions.
So it's about taking what resonates with you, leaving behind what doesn't, and ultimately forging your own path to self-discovery and relationship success.
That's a great way to put it. It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And creating a dating and relationship journey that's authentic to your own unique personality and values.
Okay, so we talked about the techniques, the underlying principles, the importance of taking a personalized approach. But let's not forget about the price tag. They're asking for $27 for this 30-minute audio track.
Yeah.
So is it worth the investment?
That's a question each listener has to answer for themselves. Some people might find it a small price to pay for potentially life-changing insights, while others might view it as too expensive for a digital product that doesn't guarantee results.
It's like anything else in life. You have to weigh the benefits against the cost.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that there are countless other resources available for those looking to improve their dating lives, many of which are free or significantly less expensive.
Yeah, you've got books, podcasts, articles, workshops, even talking to friends and mentors
Right.
who have experience in the dating world.
There's no shortage of information and support out there. And ultimately, the most valuable investment you can make is in your own personal growth and development. Whether that means investing in a program like this or exploring other avenues, the key is to be proactive, stay curious, and keep learning.
Okay, so we've unpacked the claims, explored the techniques, weighed the pros and cons of Sigma Seduction. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question. So Sigma Seduction is just one approach out there. What are some other paths to building genuine confidence and attraction that maybe don't involve hypnotherapy or,
Yeah.
analyzing female psychology?
That's a great question because it highlights that there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It's a journey. What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah, so where do you even begin? There's so much advice out there.
Well, I think a great starting point is self-awareness, taking the time to really understand your strengths, weaknesses, values, and what makes you tick.
So kind of like what Sigma Seduction talks about with inner game.
Yeah, but it can even go deeper than that. Maybe you explore journaling or mindfulness practices, or even therapy, to uncover those limiting beliefs or patterns that might be holding you back.
So getting to know yourself on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the attraction piece? How do you become more attractive to others?
Yeah.
Especially if you're starting from a place of insecurity.
I think instead of focusing on trying to become attractive, what if you focused on things that genuinely light you up? Your passions, hobbies, activities, things that make you feel alive and joyful.
I see where you're going with this. That genuine enthusiasm and passion becomes contagious.
Exactly. You're no longer trying to fit a mold or project an image. You're expressing your authentic self. And that can be incredibly magnetic.
Yeah, because we're all drawn to people who are passionate and excited about something, whether it's music, art, cooking, or even just their work.
Absolutely. And think about it. When you're engaged in something you love, you naturally radiate confidence and energy. You're in your element. And that's attractive.
Okay, so self-awareness and pursuing your passions. Got it. What else?
Something that's often overlooked is the power of genuine connection and kindness, putting your energy into building meaningful relationships with people, regardless of romantic interest.
So shifting the focus from trying to get something from someone to genuinely wanting to connect.
Exactly, it's about practicing empathy, being a good listener, and showing genuine interest in the people around you.
And that not only makes you more attractive, but it also creates a more fulfilling life overall.
Couldn't agree more. It's a win-win. You're building genuine connections
Mhm.
and radiating this warmth and kindness that people are naturally drawn to.
Okay, so we're talking about self-awareness, pursuing passions, and building genuine connections as pathways to confidence and attraction,
Mm.
and doing all of this from a place of authenticity.
Beautifully put. It's about remembering that true confidence and attraction aren't destinations. They're ongoing journeys of self-discovery and connection.
And those journeys can be messy and challenging, full of unexpected twists and turns, but they're also incredibly rewarding.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about embracing the process, being open to learning, and recognizing that the most fulfilling relationships are often the ones built on mutual respect, kindness, and genuine connection.
Well said. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. We've explored the claims, the marketing, the underlying concepts of Sigma Seduction. But more importantly, we've talked about some alternative paths to building genuine confidence and attraction. Remember, it's about finding what resonates with you, doing the inner work, and building connections from a place of authenticity and kindness. Until next time, keep diving deep. Stay curious and keep those conversations flowing